we are back with another edition of The Journey with Brendan Thomas. This time, I've got a special friend of mine by the name of BJ Williams, aka the magical BJ Williams. I'm going to get into that today. I'm super excited to be here with my man. Finally got him in here. And we're going to start this thing off the way that we start off all of these. BJ, what are the 3 greatest moments of your life?
My son being born.
Ooh.
I've had a lot of great moments, man. Okay. My son is definitely number 1, though.
Okay.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. See, I got nervous because most people, they're like, what? And then you had 1 quick, but I see that 1 is just the strong one.
That's just the 1.
But 2 and 3.
I can't even sit there and say I have a top 3. I have 1.
Okay.
Anything else?
It's a lot.
It's been a lot, man. I've lived a great fucking life.
Right. I agree.
As much tragedy as I've had even more triumphs. So if I'm going to name something, I can easily name something that happened right after that or before that. So the only thing I got is 1, man. The other 2, they change. So my son is it.
Okay. All right. So if 2 and 3 come to you at any point,
they're not going to come.
No, they could.
Because I'm going to come up with one and be like, shit, but you know what? That's 2. That's a 2, too.
Right.
Okay, well, damn, all right, well, then, actually, that's 2 as well. Because that shit was 2.
If you had to guess, if you had to, like, throw a potential 2, what would that be?
One of the things that comes to my head is my dad telling me that he's proud of the father that I've become.
That's dope. That's a solid 2.
But, like, number 2 could be, like, getting a scholarship to play ball and all that. Like, that was 2, too. Like, I'm scholarly up, school paid for it.
Boom, we got 3. Great work, BJ.
I got more.
Great work, BJ.
Nah, no, don't cut that off now.
Your top 3 moments.
We got 4.
Okay. So this is an appreciation podcast, right? So we're going to talk about, like, the highlights of life. Because I feel like a lot of times we don't get to talk about those things until we arrive to some special place. But I think that where you are in your journey is always like so important and so special in terms of like where you're going.
I like
that you got to stop here. You know what I mean? And you're allowed to have these moments of like excellence, even though you might feel like more excellence is coming or greater things are coming. Like this moment still matters very much. So the way me and BJ have been friends for a long time.
Yeah, over 10 years for sure.
And the way me and BJ met was through
is this the magical story?
Yeah, we're getting there. Through a modeling mentor by the name of Michael Maddox, rest in peace. And Mike used to love BJ, and I would say, I don't know if BJ models as much as he did back in the day, but back in the day, BJ in the group of people, I would say that Michael was influencing. BJ was the one, and I'll never forget. Michael called BJ the magical BJ Williams, and I can't unhear it. I cannot unsay it. It is just as magical. The magical.
He wrote that shit on a Facebook post.
Yeah, he did. The magical BJ Williams.
He kept writing it, so I remember that.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. We're 10 years later, it's still the magical BJ Williams. I got a 2-parter, but how did modeling come to be? How did modeling come to be? Because some people may not know.
I'm gonna make the story quick. Okay. I was out here training for pro day. I was trying to play in the NFL. One of my college teammates was training with me. He does music. Somehow he got a friend of Michael's is in music as well. Those 2 knew each other. He asked my boy if he was interested in modeling. My boy was like, nah, but my partner might be. And before that in college, I was dating a young lady in fashion, and I ended up doing XXL magazine because she was like, well, you my man, so I need somebody to do this. And so on campus, it got word that I was a model, but I was like, nah, I just did a favor for a girlfriend.
Right.
So he's like, no, but my boy might be interested. So, I got hit up about that, and I was like, nah, I'm cool. My boy hit my line like, no, this is legit. You might want to look into it. And I was like, well, shit, I ain't doing nothing else but training. Right. And that's how I got introduced to Mike, Mr. Maddox. He happened to be doing a fashion show. What was that one downtown? IMTA?
Mm-hmm.
He was doing IMTA when I met him.
And dang, yep.
It was funny because I met the nigga. He was on the phone the whole time. Like, he barely even like spoke to me.
Oh wow.
Like I was in the room. I forgot who was there. His son might have been there. Brandon might have been there. I forgot who was there. Some young lady was there, and he was on the phone. It was funny because he was like getting ready to go train the models for the show, and he was like, looked at me. He's talking on the phone. He was like, "Take your shirt off," and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Chill.
What you mean take it? I'm like, I ain't.
Right.
I don't know how this goes and shit. I'm like, yo, this is weird, bro. And I can't think of who was there. She was like, oh, he just wants to see how you look. I'm like, all right. So I came ready though because I was fresh off the pro day workout.
Right.
I'm in there. I'm working out every day hard, 4 hours, 6 hours. So that was that. And he was like, come back tomorrow, and that was it.
Lit.
He put me in the show.
Damn.
I ain't never walked, but I was listening to him fire everybody.
Yeah.
The trials. He was firing people like nope. And he'd coach you up and fire you. Like I was like, damn, that's all you got to do is walk. Like that was it. I was off and running.
Sounds that easy, but there is an art to it.
It is an art to it, but I just couldn't understand how he's trying to coach you on what to do and you're not listening, following the directions.
But you probably understood that from being coached
in sports
your whole life, that you just understand the
I've been around athletes my whole life, so when people get told something, they're able to do it within a few tries. I'm not used to. I wasn't, especially then. I wasn't used to like it is walking. It ain't like go run backwards, turn around, plant, go drive left, go
go follow a nigga, make sure you don't catch the ball.
You feel me? Like that part, that's a little more physically taxing, but you just walking, keep your head straight, put some swaggy on it, like have a rhythm. And I was like, all right, that's easy.
Fair enough.
And then he introduced me to, I think we met a couple weeks later. He set up meetings with multiple agencies around town. I did the meetings, and LA Models just happened to sign me on the spot. Like other agencies was like, well, we'll wait. We do our meetings every Thursday or something. LA Models like, what you trying to do? This contract and none. I was like, shit,
I'm here.
I've been rocking with LA ever since.
If y'all will have me, then I will come. I rock with that. So now my question is, I've had a couple athletes on here, right? And what I've learned is there's always this transition phase after sports. Did modeling help you with that?
Absolutely.
As you've been modeling all this time, how do you feel about it?
Pays me a lot.
Right.
I've always had volatile isn't the word specifically, but it's the only word that's coming to my head. Because it's not volatile per se. I've always had because it's such a fickle industry, and I never really cared for fame. I treated it as a job, a fun job.
Right.
But not a career. But I've made a career out of it.
Totally. And I think that's kind of what I was trying to say is like,
I've made a career out of a job.
Can you find the piece of a career in this industry?
Yeah, you absolutely can. There are people that have made modeling a career. There are people that are doing that now, especially with social media.
Oh, totally.
But for me, especially in the first few years of me modeling, I was like BT said, I was working a ton. I was working a lot, and it kind of shocked me. But I always knew like, well, I might not work again ever. I don't know how this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a business of not even who you know; it's who knows you. It's a business of that.
That's life.
And so, I was always like, nah. I mean, it's cool. I like it. I get to travel the world. Billboard here, whatever. I get paid well, especially back then.
Right.
But I always was like, nah. I used to hate when people would be like, "Oh, he models." I hated that shit. I hate when I got introduced and they're like, "Oh, he BJ and he models." I'm like, fuck. Or if I met people that ask you what you do, I would never say modeling. I'd say some other. I was teaching because I started teaching at the same time as I got signed. So I still hate it to this day. I won't say anything about it now, but I hate when people are like, oh, this is BJ and he models. I'm like, man, I do a bunch of other shit.
Chill.
Like it just seems so
right.
Like a line.
Like
one of those corny douchebaggy lines like you say to women, like, oh, I model, or oh, he a model. So now all of a sudden that should mean something to them.
Totally.
I've always hated that. But if I said I'm a teacher though, yeah, no, that's it right there. Yeah, that's where the love comes in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely using the model line.
I hated it, yo. I couldn't stand
Forget what you heard.
Because then it turns into then it would be like, prove it.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is people are like, oh, what have you been?
What have you been in? And now I'm about to list the shit, and I got a list. I got a resume. My shit, reads well.
Right.
And I can put mine up, amongst the good people. Even though I'm not as recognized, I've worked with these brands too.
Totally.
I've had fire shoots. I've been in Times Square kind of thing. And so then it turns into that. Now I'm looking like, fuck, man, now I got to prove to you, which I shouldn't have to.
Right. I think you nailed it. Like, it's always like this like douchey thing where you're like, because for me at least, it's like you have to like prove yourself almost.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they're like, model, well, what does that mean? And
Right.
I'm like, well, I've worked for X, Y, Z,
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
it's like,
nothing crazy.
right.
But it's like, man, I didn't want to turn this into that, but I still need you to know that I'm a person, because the only way you're going to respect me is if I tell you all this shit.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking of your cousin who's the model, you know what I mean, that's on Facebook. And shout out to that cousin that's a model that's working their way up.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
I see you. I feel you. I've been there. I'm
your
still
local
there.
photographer, local shoot. You might have got published in your,
You was in the yearbook.
your local little joint, which is dope. It's work. You worked. You got paid to work. I
Respect.
give it to you, but
Respect.
no, I got brands, and I used to hate that. Doesn't happen too much now because I'm a lot older. I've been in the game a long time, and
Right. Yeah, I just hate when you're put in that position where it's like, I can't just, and maybe just because I was like younger, you feel like you have to prove yourself, where it doesn't exactly matter, like, because but it's always this thing of like disbelief,
Right.
Where you're like, oh, well, what have you done?
right. And then my friends would say it. I used to be like,
Yeah.
My male and female friends would be like, oh, he models, and I'd be like, fuck,
Right.
because now here the pictures come. Now you're showing my shit, and I'm right here. Like, you ain't got to do all that.
Yeah. That's
And I will say this at the same time, as I'm speaking of it in disdain. I mean, it has gotten me some fun times. I will say that I've had a blast a few times.
totally.
So it's not all bad. I just would rather not have that conversation and let's go have fun. But hey,
Yeah.
I've definitely enjoyed some of the perks with it. I'm not even going to sit here and tell that.
No. It is awesome. It is no. Yeah, y'all, don't let us tell you about the bad side. It is lit.
Listen to
I don't need to validate nothing, because I've had a blast. I done spent money I never thought I would see. I've met lifelong friends on these sets. I've worked with directors that I thought. Sorry, I got some eyes.
You're not the same, because they're directors that still recognize and still hire me. And I'm like, yeah, I've worked with.
Totally.
I was a video hoe for a minute. Do you remember I was doing all those music videos and shit? I was a video hoe
I'm
for a
still
minute.
jealous of the Cassie.
Oh,
I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I'm still jealous.
Somebody just sent it to me too.
Yeah, I'm glad that she's pregnant and married now. How
I
about
am
that?
highly upset about
How about that? I'm glad she's gone. You ain't gonna be no official girl no more. That's out. That's out.
You're a hater.
That's out.
Get in this video. I named the Rihannas, the Kim K's, the Fergies, Katy Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's been so many that I've worked with, celeb ladies. All of them phenomenal. Thank you. I appreciate
Totally. That was
opportunity.
That was my white whale. I never got to do a music video. I mean,
Really? I was a video hoe. I was always the boyfriend or the cheating boyfriend.
Yeah,
I don't know
man.
what that says about me, but whatever.
For some reason, I grew up just loving that guy. You know what I mean? And I think back in the day, there was more of those guys.
We were just talking about that. If we were able to get the Mariah video,
Yeah,
Janet or Tony Braxton,
man. If
he was the dude.
you was
That was it.
It was cemented. You already knew you were the dude if you're getting that call.
Yeah.
And if you make it,
Or Madonna video. If you got into any of those four ladies, especially in the '90s,
because they're only getting that top,
they only get in the top.
that tippy top. Shout out to Tyson Beckford.
Yeah, man.
He's still that. Is he the most iconic
I think so.
video male performance? I can't. I'm blanking.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Who else would it be? He's like the dude that everybody aspired to
Yeah, definitely. Isn't that crazy?
be.
I can't think of another black model.
I can't think of another model. Period. Like, I know some, I know their names, but to say that they're at that level of
I can't think of a white model either. That's
like
crazy.
when he did that video. I think Tommy came either right before or right after that.
Yeah.
But that video was it, and then all of a sudden, every agency, every every brand was looking for somebody
And black boy.
dark, chinky eyed with white teeth. Mm-hmm. We got Tyrese right after that.
Yeah.
Tyrese started off modeling with Tommy.
Plot twist. Yo, I can't think of another white model name either.
I can think of some. I don't even know if they're white though.
I can't think of nobody else that's like that ilk.
I can think of two: Jaimon Hansu, Janet Jackson video, and Antonio Sabato. I think is his name. He was in Janet Jackson video.
I don't know Antonio Banderas.
No, I don't think he was on the video.
Okay, yeah.
But those are the only two dudes, and that other nigga's African, and then Antonio is some Hispanic Latin. I can't think of, but again,
That's special.
I think Tyson doing that video put Tyson at a level of just like, that was it, because everybody was looking for that. Shit, they're still hiring that.
That's crazy. Okay, so if you had advice for your younger self when you first got into the industry, what would it be?
Put away more money. I made a lot. I made a lot of money. And it didn't seem like it because, you know, there are times where you don't get paid
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
So put away, invest that money sooner.
Totally.
And I've done it, and I continue to do so. But I would tell myself to put that money away sooner.
Yeah.
Like for real, have a financial plan. But mind you, though, I'm not mad at the money that I spent because I spent it on some fucking great times.
Yeah.
I was more likely to travel. You know, I had I had a girlfriend or whatever, or if I was wilding out, like I traveled a lot, so I spent my own experience, and I am not mad at that
I had a blast.
at all. I can't say that I'm a wasteful person, so I didn't waste on bullshit. My bills got paid, my son is taken care of, all of those things were always taken care of. And then experiences, but older me would have said, all right, for real, put a financial plan together, because now I could have done that without even having to work.
Right.
Or at least been further on that path of not having to work and still enjoy myself. You know what I mean? So that's what I would have told myself, that put the money away. And another thing, like my boys was in the league, so I'm hanging with these niggas. Now I'm not spending that kind of money. I'm not the dude that's like, oh, I gotta keep up with that. I ain't have it.
No.
But this is my aces. They're like, yo, we going here. Shit, I'm flying out. What's happening?
Right.
You know, I'm able to take care of myself, get what I need. You know, buy me a ticket, hotel. I can pay for that.
Totally.
Food, I ain't got the trip. I can kick in on that. So I'm spending on that. But shit, and my boys, they big spending at the time. You can't tell no early 20s kids to
Can do that.
nigga,
Ain't no point.
with a fresh $14 million contract and a black car. What you gonna tell them?
Ain't no point.
Man, what you gonna come be? Can you get here? I'm there. I'll be right there, baby. Tell me.
Car can take as many swipes as it needs
Absolutely.
to.
You know what I mean? I was able to, or flyouts. I was flying a young lady out. That was dope. We ended up in a relationship. So I would never say it was a waste. I enjoyed what it was.
Okay.
We're still good people to this day.
Okay, that counts.
Still love her to death. That's my girl. But I would never take back what I've spent on.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Have I splurged on some shit sometimes? Yeah, but I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
No dumb purchases at all.
Totally. And see, that's the advice I like to give.
If it was dumb, it was not like it didn't put me in a poor.
Right.
Like I didn't lose anything.
Right.
It was like shit. What's the next paycheck coming? I'll be cool.
Right. You didn't buy like a year's worth of Visu jeans.
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
I still got shoes that I bought throughout.
And that matters.
I just get them restored.
And that matters.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, and see, that's the advice I like to give to younger people, is the advice you would give yourself.
Yeah.
Don't give me no work hard, follow your dreams.
Fuck that.
No. What would you have told you? Because that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, stay focused, work hard. Nah. Tell me the truth.
And I probably would have studied the business a lot sooner than I did.
1,000%.
I think I would have talked to more people behind the scenes.
1,000%.
Built those relationships and shit.
Okay, so we worked through the past. Now we're going to work in the present.
Let's do it.
This life of yours is a book. And this chapter is called
Revelations.
Oh. Care to expound?
Yeah, man. With quarantine, revealed a bunch about myself. I was working. I was still getting paid. So to know that I got into a career that I was able to still get paid. All my bills were still getting paid. I was able to help out. Was such a revealing thing to me, because people were losing Those jobs aren't coming back. So a portion of those jobs aren't coming back. People don't know where they're getting paid. I got paid even more. Honestly, I made even more, but because I'm part of the union with the school district, they took care of us, and we were still teaching. So that revealed something like, all right, but at any point you'll always have a job, a career, and I call it teaching a career because I love it, Absolutely. A career. So that was revealed to me, and it was like I didn't think about it until like April, May. On payday, actually, I looked at the pay stub like.
Real love. I'm searching.
Let me keep trying to. Let's go out to eat, or I'll order because you can't go out to eat.
Order that.
With the mental health, with Can I Be Vulnerable? We evolved into taking it, further.
Tell us a little bit about that for people that aren't aware.
Sidebar. We'll get to that after.
Okay.
But with Can I Be Vulnerable? It revealed in this venture that I'm trying to take it into that there are, business wise, there are some people that take advantage. Which I knew that, but we do mental health. Like,
you thought you were in a safe space.
Not even just like a safe space, but come on, man. There's no absolutely zero honor here. Like you can't be this.
Dusty.
That was revealing to me.
Dusty, but
go ahead.
I think that's people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Anytime you mix some people in.
But my thing is, like, you are people that you do mental health. Like, you study, these are the things you should be some kind of, but you know what? Humans are unpredictable.
Hey, man, sometimes.
Erratic creatures. But that was revealing to me, and that was something that, and I know this is a aspirational thing, but that was definitely a downer for me.
Yeah.
But revealing.
You need to see it.
Revealed to me again in these instances that I'm really good at protecting myself, even though I don't know that I'm actually doing it.
Yeah. That's good.
So that was revealed like, shit, B, you ain't in a bad position. You just have to go through the work, and it's,
totally
irritating, but ultimately you're fine.
Totally. Also, what I love about those situations is like when you have shortcomings is you get to look at the shortcoming on a scale of where you are, compared to where you're gonna go,
right?
And if that shortcoming happens early enough, it's truly a blessing.
It is,
because if you get 5 more miles down the road and you experience that same thing, it's gonna cost you so much more. So to experience it on this level and to be aware of these things early,
moving forward, that's it. Because it also, I had to go back to the drawing board. We talked about this.
Yeah,
adjust, tighten down even more.
Totally.
Those kind of things. So it's been revelations, revealing. I'm back into therapy, going even deeper into some of the things that I had dealt with in my past dealings with therapy. And these past 2 weeks has been very revealing in itself, man. And I'm learning more about. So I have detachment issues.
Okay.
And that is a result of dealing with an alcoholic mom growing up.
Right.
But I'm learning even more because I thought her death was where I learned to detach. I learned that shit prior to that, and without even necessarily being cognizant of it at the time. And how that is affecting my friendships, how it has affected my relationships. And so my therapist, man, he been old dude, man. Like he been dropping them on me. I've been like, oh, wow,
right. That's dope.
Wow,
that's dope.
So he dropped something on me yesterday. I was like, holy shit!
I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing here. Okay, cool. And then it's getting the answers, because they don't give you answers. They help you find the answers for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's been revealing for me.
We dealt with the past, dealt with the present. Now we're here at the future. What are some things that you can see in your future? And if you could draw it up perfect.
One of the first things would be, can I be vulnerable? Not necessarily at the forefront, but a key component of the revolution of mental well-being. How we go about it, how we get it, the access to it, the programs implemented. Basically, it's a business attribute.
Right.
But the business is not necessarily about me. Like, yeah, I'll benefit from it, and so will my people. Because, again, I can talk about CIB, which we will. It honestly would be nothing without Alfred over here. Without the executive producer over here for the jump off, but
I do what I can.
And I tell him all the time, like, this goes nowhere without you. You got to be a part of it to step in the way because you got to benefit from it. You know what I mean? You put the work in, you got to get something. But
we got some stuff coming.
we got some. Listen,
we got some stuff coming.
I've been in the lab all year, but that would be the first thing off the top of my head. Can I be vulnerable? It doesn't have to be at the forefront. We don't have to be the leader in, but when you talk about its history and when you talk about where it went, mental health and mental well-being, Can I Be Vulnerable has to come up. Mm-hmm. CIBV has to be, well, CIBV launched this. And then that started this revolution kind of deal.
Totally.
And I was would be like, I guess with AOL chat rooms or with MySpace being, you know, I know AOL was a chat room, MySpace being Black Planet actually.
Yeah, but AOL, when the chat room started in a space where people wanted to connect.
Right.
You go Zanga, Black Planet.
And then Black Planet
MySpace.
comes and then makes it to where you can design, and all of a sudden, and then you got the MySpace but you can't talk about it without the AOL or the Black Planet.
If you know,
this is what started, and all of a sudden here's the branch off from that.
Right.
Can I Be Vulnerable would have that kind of thing.
Absolutely, that'd be dope.
And if we are at the forefront, great. But it's not about that for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I am working, and we are going to be working so that can come to fruition.
Totally.
And I feel like we're on the right path. Somebody already stole something from me.
Yeah, and when people aren't
trying to steal it from you, you ain't.
That's when you know you got something.
Yeah, it's like
but
you got something.
If you're not getting robbed, you needed some spicier stuff.
Yeah, you need to get. I mean, if they ain't trying to imitate, steal, you need duplicate.
Yeah, you got to get back in the lab.
You got to get back to the lab. So that'd be one thing. Change how we talk education. Change how we go about education, and I mean specifically for my classrooms. Mm-hmm. Or the space that I am when I do education, where I don't have to worry about language specifically, or I don't have to worry about whether or not I can actually teach my students their real history.
Right.
Something like that. That is definitely a personal for me. I mean, I do it anyway, but I also understand that it can come with some backlash, but fucking fire me. I'm telling the truth. It is what it is.
No, hold on. But don't fire us at the same time.
Don't fire me, but I don't want you to, but if you do, listen, we gonna go to them courts.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll settle.
We're gonna settle for sure.
We'll settle.
And seeing my son, and I'm gonna say it like this because this is how I've raised my son. Seeing my son fail and grow from everything that he does. Mm-hmm. My son is terrified of failure. I blame his mama for that.
Okay, yeah.
So me and her had to have to talk about, listen, you don't let this man fail. So when he does things, or he doesn't attempt things, or doesn't try things that are daunting to him, you get mad at him, but you have not allowed this man to fail. So if he feels like he's going to, he doesn't try.
Yeah.
So she's gotten in the practice of, shit.
That's so real.
That's it now. Like, you on your own.
Yeah.
Especially because he left high school for college early, left after a sophomore and got into a college program. Mm-hmm. So he's at community college getting his college credits.
Right.
So he made that decision and we were like, all right, well shit, you made that decision. We finna let you fail, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I tell him all the time, it's not failures, they're a lesson. So for me, an attribute would be seeing my son try whatever he tries. And if it doesn't work, try the next thing.
Exactly.
That's my thing. That's what I want to see.
Ooh, that's such a lesson.
Try the next thing, kid. Whatever.
I think a lot of people suffer from that. A lot more people than they know. I suffered from it for a long time, and I had no idea.
A lot of it is because, and I tell this to parents all the time, especially new parents. There's going to be a certain point to where you stop encouraging your child's failures. And I said they're not failures; they're lessons. When your child is first learning how to walk, what do? You encourage that. Every time they fall, oh, great job, they get up. You pick them right back up. You let them fall on their ass again.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, when they first start to talk, say mama, say dad, look, they said mama first. You are so encouraging when your kids are learning. And at some point, we treat them like they're just supposed to know the rest of the shit.
It's when they start pissing you off.
That's when they start pissing you off.
That you stop telling them.
And there's this thing, my boy said, the moment you realize what they don't know is because you haven't taught them, is the day you take your emotions out of their failures.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I didn't teach my kid this, so how the hell am I mad that they're doing something incorrectly?
Yeah.
I'm not giving you that lesson.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be mad, I got to be mad at myself.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that as a parent.
Oh, well, it's very hard.
Yeah.
You know, being a parent is fucking tough.
And
I'm not saying this is easy. It definitely takes practice, and it takes a lot of looking in that mirror, admitting where what you don't know, and finding people that have more experience in parenthood, asking them the questions. May not have the answers, but they may have some kind of guidance you can take things from. I've taken parenting tips.
Oh my God, yeah.
From fucking TV.
But isn't that hard though? Like trying to live your actual life still, and then like working on bettering yourself for somebody else.
Well, that is working on your life.
Yeah, I guess. And see, obviously, I don't have kids. That's how I was able to separate the two.
Yeah, there is no separation. If you're not bettering your life, are you really doing the work for your kids?
Nah, not maybe. Nah.
I mean, this topic right here, it can be its own series.
Yeah.
With other parents and other non-parents, because there's so much nuance and layers to this. We're speaking very broad and very general, so please don't get at it like this is concrete. I understand that this is such a deep conversation,
million ways,
and my views on it is definitely going to be different from his or somebody else's.
Right.
But if you're not working on yourself, are you really putting in the work, for that life to betterment?
Nah, totally. And I think that comes from somebody that's been therapized.
Now I was going to say,
I think you've been mad,
because this is therapy. Me talking, because prior to I was laying in some toxicity into my son.
Yeah. Because, but it wasn't intentional. It was just in you.
Not know, and unhealed me. Not because I didn't know, because I was unhealed. I didn't have the practice.
Totally.
But when checking myself and understanding that shit, my son doesn't know this. Why am I mad at him?
Right.
I've not given him this lesson. As a matter of fact, nigga, you just learned this lesson, and you in your 30s.
Yeah. Look, the way I go about it, me personally, right, is I have younger brothers that are 10 and 12 years younger than me. And I say, if they can get the lesson in half the time, it's a win.
It's a win.
And for me, if I can learn the things that I see my mother struggle with are going to be in me. If I can figure them out in half the time she figured them out, it's a win. So for me, I think that I've developed my parenting ideas with no kids from my younger siblings.
That's still practice.
Yeah.
It's practice.
If it ain't nothing else, You
helped raise them. You didn't birth them.
Totally.
But you helped raise them, and that counts. There's more to being a parent than birthing.
Yeah, no, totally. So it's just an interesting dynamic. We might need to get some dads together and do this, because
absolutely,
I think that would be a great talk.
Absolutely.
Because there's some things that I'm just absolutely clueless about. And I've visited some friends that have kids. And it's funny, I had a buddy of mine. We were just in where we were. And we were talking to him, to be as vague as possible. And, he was like, look, man, don't have kids. And when I tell you he was serious but kidding, because he absolutely loves his kids.
Excuse me. Go ahead, finish.
But I'm just like, man, like I wonder what is he really like, how does he really feel? Even though, again, I know he would do anything for his kids. I know that he works for his kids. You were saying, hey, for real, don't have kids.
Listen to me. Okay. Listen to me. Okay. I want you guys to look deep into my eyes. Listen to this low register. That's how serious I am. There's two things.
Okay.
Hashtag don't have kids. Okay?
Boom.
You enjoy your freedom.
Oof.
As long as you can.
Whole life.
Some people aspire to be parents. Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't have kids. They are life forcing suckers. I love my son to absolute death. He has anything I can get and do, I will. Then there's hashtag number 2.
Second hashtag.
Hashtag fuck them kids. Okay?
Yeah,
now,
I'm familiar with this one.
If you have kids, I know you love them, you take care of them.
Yeah.
I hope you do.
Yeah.
Hashtag fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Is an ode for us.
Yes.
That means take care of you. So if you buy yourself some candy and your little nubby ass kids want some, you don't want to share, fuck them.
Fuck them.
You bought that for you. That makes you feel better. Right? So, you do for you first.
Yes.
When you are okay, when you are in a good space, your kids are automatically going to be fine.
Yeah.
If your energy is off, our kids can sense that. Because we treat them away even though we don't feel like we do. They sense it.
Yeah.
Take care of you first. So hashtag fuck them kids means take care of you first when you can.
Yep.
If you want to go take a trip and leave your kids somewhere, grandma, whatever, fuck them. Take that trip because that is for you.
Yeah.
All right. Hashtag don't have kids if you don't.
Right.
Hashtag fuck them kids if you do.
Hope you're taking notes. BJ, finish us off. What's the last thing you got?
For kids, Oh,
Just
we go
in life in general.
learn yourself.
Oh, Wale. I think Drake got one of those.
Learn yourself. Learn your past. Deal with that. Be in the moment. Learn yourself in the present. And be excited to learn about your future.
I like that.
Yeah.
Excitement is so important.
Yeah, no, it's like, oh, the future's coming, that's gonna be trash. But be excited about learning what's gonna happen. Like, shit, what's gonna happen tomorrow, nigga? Shit.
Right. Creating what's gonna happen.
What tomorrow? All right, well, shit, next week. I mean, you know what? Ain't a little change, but shit, I can't listen. Like, be excited to learn about your future. I feel like if you're excited about learning about what's going to happen, you'll put in the work to ensure that that excitement stays there.
Hell yeah.
But learn yourself, man. Learn your past. Deal with that. There's no point in reliving some shit, especially if it's traumatic. There's no point in reliving trauma and allowing that to dictate your present.
Right.
Which will then, could harm your future. Like, man, deal with that shit. Man. Fuck it, happen. Whatever.
Yep. I love that. All right, man. But this has been the journey of Brandon Thomas and the magical BJ Williams.
The magical BJ Williams.